Okay, this lesson for the Cornet Project class, one text, 1 John 5, verse 1. We've discussed it numerous times. We'll just take it and look at it and see what we can do as a class who wants to evaluate it according to Koine. And then we can just start writing it out. And then remember, everyone who is believing, you all know this. This word here, you've worked on it enough now, you have it really well. So, believing, hoti, that Jesus, we'll write it out in just a moment. Jesus estin. Remember, this one's so familiar. We're trying to do it by memory, so Jesus is the Christ, ho, Christos. And then ek, out from, to, theou. And then we have the word from genao, and it is perfect passive indicative. Ga, so we'll have the reduplicated stem. Ga, ga, ne, tai. Ga, ga, ne, tai. Out from thee God has been begotten and remains begotten. Okay. And then we have kai, pos. Well, that should have been subscripted there. Yeah, subscripted below the line there. And then we have another present active participle, agapon. And then let's put the definite article here. Now we have, let's try to keep genao over here. Now we have this form here, gene santa, one loving the one who fathers. Kai aga. Oh yes. This is from agapao, and you remember you have that subscript there, but it's a present indicative active. And yeah, the one who is loving, the one who fathers, also is loving tone. Now I think we have another, so we have genao, two different forms here. This is aorist active participle, which we'll go over that in just a minute. The one also is loving the one, ga, reduplicated stem, so let's keep our gammas in a row here. Ga, ne, ga, the one who having been fathered. Okay, let's just say that for now because we'll check it when we do it. So like I said, you all read these, you use these, try to write it out, and then, so is also loving the one who having been fathered, always being fathered. Okay, out from him. There we go. Now notice, well, let's go through it and then we'll check it, okay? Because I'd like for us to, use this, really use it. So this is an adjective, it's singular, so we'll just write every, and this is, of course, definite article, the one, present active participle. If you need to write that down, write it down. That'll help you when you go back over your work. But the vocabulary is so easy in John's gospel and his letters, and the grammar is really iterative. So everyone who is believing, notice that's the ing there. So we have our ing. We also have already, if we need that. Believing that Jesus, you all have this down, is Amy, third person. And of course, Ho Christos, you've got this down by heart. You remember that's Messiah. Out from, remember word order. Well, we've become accustomed to it because of the Koine, the use of it. There we go. Now this is a perfect passive indicative. So the out from the God has been previously, it has antecedent action, previously, there we go, fathered. Oh, and is always, remember when we have continuous results, the passive implication of passive carries on continuously, and then the action in the verb itself. So has been fathered and is always being fathered. That's just our English language to help bring that out. And every, again, we have this adjective, the one, and this is who is loving. And you can notice this is always, by the way, you can notice the familiarity you see with this. And then we have the definite article there, accusative case. Now here, this, I'll try to keep this in a line. You can see the reduplicated stem. So this is not reduplicated. This is an aorist active participle, which you kind of get that from that. It's kind of a clue. So the one who fathers, fathers, also, and this is just he is loving, present indicative active, the, and this is a perfect passive participle, the one, let's just go ahead and put the one who, again, we'll check it out, and if you've already seen a mistake, just bear with me, who having been fathered. And then, of course, the two implications, the verb itself continues, and then the voice, passive. Okay? So, who having been fathered is always being fathered. Always, that's the continuous, is how I was showing it. Always being, showing that continuous being fathered. It's really the most exhaustive way I know how to express it. It helps people that are confused about a lot of things out there. So let's look at it now. We have everyone who is believing that Jesus is the Christ has been previously, prior to this believing, this is the person. You remember in John 20:31, he has the finite verb believe. For those who've not come to the point of faith, believe. And then he has, for those already believing, that they might have life through his name. So there's quite a distinction in the Koine Greek from a finite verb and a present active participle. And that's why some of you that have read the New King James Version and went to this text, you notice they translate as though it were aorist here. Now, I'm not saying it was intentional, but it could be from bias, and we all have it. And we could perhaps want what we believe to be so certain that we write it into the Bible. So let's not fault anybody. Let's just remember that as we're going through. So has been previously, prior to this, fathered, and every one who is loving the one who fathers, so this is God who fathers, is also loving the one who, having been fathered, is always being fathered. And I didn't finish it, obviously. So let me finish it. There we go. And this is out from here. Notice out from. And then this is him. There we go. So notice ek prior to the tau here. And then here we have it prior to a vowel. Then you see what happens to the kappa. So this is pretty good. This should be good work for you. It should help get your confidence up, because especially when you're in the Gospel of John and the letters of 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and then of course when you go through any of the Gospels, the things that we will expect to repeat and things we should just get that become just, second nature to us or incidental. We should just grab it. But I wanted to do this here first before we do anything. But here how I lined it up, this is just for us. I deliberately did this so I could tell you there's clues in the text. You see, when you see this here, this is just from Gnao. This is Gnao, perfect. Look at that reduplicated stem. That's almost, it's a tell right there. There's a lot of clues in the text. So go back, check this, and see if it's correct. Take your time and go through it. But get where you can write this out. And yes, it's okay if you, as I recommend, use deliberate practice, iterative practice. Take familiar text where there's controversy and interest. For example, this text, one of the best videos I've ever seen on it was by Dr. James White from Alpha and Omega Apologetic and Outreach Ministry. And he was using this to demonstrate the assertion, according to the Axiom of Reformed Theology, that regeneration precedes faith. And here he was using this text. Now, you really would have to be someone who cares enough to use the language to notice, but this is a noun, a gerundive noun, as a function as a subject here, if you will. So if he's saying regeneration, that is has been fathered and is always being fathered, precedes the gerundive noun verbal substantive. But again, we don't have a text, and I know because I looked and was happy to find one if it were actually there, that placed fathered prior to the finite verb, just as in Galatians 2:16 we have eidotes, that perfect active participle, having noticed, Paul said, and always noticing that no kind of man is justified out from any kind of works of any kind of law, except through faithfulness of Christ, Jesus Christ. He then said, we ourselves believed into Christ Jesus in order that we might be declared right, that is justified out from his faithfulness. So this is good. This is a good lesson. 1 John 5:1. Like I said, I'll go back and check it. I just didn't want to take up your time checking my work, but that's what I did here. You can see I deliberately set these up so you can compare these and notice, because I'll notice what I missed in just a moment. Okay, so you have a blessed day. Enjoy this lesson.